Hi, welcome back to the studio with me. So in this video we're going to look at something that's not really looked at that much in bass videos, and it's playing melodies on the bass. I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process that I always look at when I'm asked to play a melody on the bass guitar. Now the bass is a great and underused instrument for playing melodies, I think. The range of the bass is, especially the extended range bass, the 6-string bass, is very close to the human singing voice. So it's almost one of the most perfect instruments to play melodies on, to be honest. Because it's easier to sing along in that range, and especially, like I said, the extended range. So approaching melodies, I always take these steps when I'm approaching this, and it's the first one is always start with the vocals and the lyrics to any song you're trying to learn, especially if it's originally a vocal melody. When I was recording my last album, Recuerdos, they were all the songs on there are, well, not all of them, but 99% of them are vocal melodies. So I had to really listen to the vocal melodies, listen to the vocal phrasing, and also the lyrics of each song, just so I could faithfully reproduce the melodies on the bass. Because at the end of the day, I wanted people to be able to sing along to the songs and recognise them. I didn't want to overplay the melodies. So number 2 is capture the vocal phrasing. What's the vocal phrasing doing? Is it 2-bar phrases? Is it 4-bar phrases? So maybe, have a listen to that. Go into the nuts and bolts of the melody, into the meat and potatoes of the melody, and have a look at the vocal phrasing. What is it doing? The next one is look at each syllable of the words of the lyrics used and try and convey that when you're performing the melody instrumentally. And always perform it with the vocals in mind, meaning always have the vocal melody in your head when you're playing it. Try and sing along to it when you're playing it as well. The next one is try not to mask the melody with fills, ornamentations, different kind of riff ideas, different riffs. Try not to overuse these things. We know in modern kind of pop and R&B music, this is used a lot, and sometimes, in my opinion, really overused a lot. You don't really hear a strong melody anymore. All you hear are kind of riffs and ornaments and turns and screeching and screaming. That's not really true, but if you're going to play a tune with a strong melody, which really anchors the most important part of the tune, then try not to overplay it. Try not to add too many fills and trills and flourishy little bits, things like that. And the next thing is look at rhythmical phrasing of the melody, especially when you're playing a highly syncopated melody like I'm going to play through in a minute. If the melody's on the beat, or if the melody's syncopated. So maybe go into the nuts and bolts of the melody again and look at the rhythmical phrasing, as well as, like we mentioned before, the melodic phrasing. Another one is a great tool to do is to learn the melody by heart and use the lyrics as an overall guide. And always have the lyric sheet in front of you on your music stand or whatever, or on your iPad or something. This is something that I always do when I'm playing a melody that is originally a vocal melody. So I'll have the lyrics, I'll have them on the sheet there, and instead of looking at the dots, the sheet music, I'll look at the lyrics and I'll sing the melody in my head as I'm playing it. And if it does need any ornamentation or any fills or anything like that, then I'll try and do that, but in more of a subtle musical way. The tune we're going to look at is a tune called La Negra Tomasa Bilongo, a very, very famous Cuban standard. It's a highly syncopated melody, and I chose this one because it's a relatively simple melody, but like I said, it is highly syncopated. So we need to keep all these aspects and these points in mind. We need to look at vocal phrasing, melodic phrasing, we need to look at rhythmical phrasing, we need to look at the lyrics, because it's obviously in Spanish. We need to look at the way the lyrics are formed, the way the syllables work, and try and convey that in our rendition of it on the bass. Because like I said, the bass is a pretty underused instrument for playing melodies on, but it's a fantastic instrument for playing melodies on because it's so close to the human vocal range. So if you try and keep all these things in mind as you're playing a melody and approaching a melody, be it a cover version or be it your own song, try and keep all these things in mind and work on each step, step by step, like I've just been through. So let's have a play through Bilongo. watching. You'll also notice in that tune that I use some solo kind of lines, but trying to use them in more of a rhythmical way, some of the lines in a rhythmical way, starting with simple ideas and then developing those rhythmically. If you want to learn more about that, then check out my other my video course on YouTube, Latin Influences, where I go through all those approaches, influences from different percussion instruments, and applying them to your bass playing and your bass lines. Also visit simongoulding.com, where you can get Latin Influences, the ebook, as well as all my other ebook courses and my solo albums. So until the next video, I'll see you soon.